Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How's everyone doing today? I hope you all are doing well. I think the sun is going down, and let me see if I can fix this so you guys can see me clearly. Happy Friday to you all. Thank you for being here today. Thank you, and thank God it's Friday, right? I'm happy about that. Thank you all for being here. And I hope you all had a good week. And today's topic of discussion is going to be different. Um, Unfortunately, I couldn't be here earlier. And then when I came in, I had to eat because I hadn't eaten the whole day. So that's not good. So before I jumped on here, I wanted to eat and then I wanted to, make an outline for this topic of discussion today. This one is going to be a little deep and it's different. And the reason why I want to, someone out there, some women out there, even men who may listen to this channel, might be going through something and they're not talking about it and they need to heal some things because grief due to the loss of a loved one is one factor of what we talk about here. But grief related to other things can cause us to be depressed, to be traumatized, and sadness, all of that. So all those things need to be healed. Anytime we get on a journey and we decide that we're going to be on this path to healing, then we have to heal all those things. And that's why it took me so long to jump on a bandwagon to heal because I didn't want to do any of this, because I had to stop, look at myself, see what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what I needed to change, etc. It's a lot of work and a lot of pain when you start to look at yourself, the inner child, and things that are going on. So we're going to jump in this topic of discussion today. The topic is my experience with pain and why I decided to heal it. Because I had a lot of pain, people, due to grief, due to going through problems and trauma and situations with people. Um, so I'm going to talk from my own viewpoint and perspective, because with me, there's been a lot of things that happen, and I'm looking at it from a different perspective and mindset today because things happen in our life to teach us a lesson. You know, like I said in prior videos, people and situations come into our life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And, I'm ready for the lifetime now with all these other things. But when we don't learn the lesson, what happens is that we have to repeat it. The lesson has to be repeated if we don't learn. And the second or third time that we don't learn it, it's worse than ever. So I choose to learn it as quickly as I can now instead of spinning on a wheel because I haven't learned the lesson. So I'm going to talk to you guys from my perspective. I'm not here to tell you what to do and what not to do. I'm just talking from my own perspective of things that happened to me so that you can understand also why I had to get on the bandwagon to heal some of these things because these things were repeating themselves in my life. And so the information I'm sharing here may help someone. I'm not a therapist or social worker. I don't have a certification in those categories or a degree in that category. I'm just someone who went through so much and I'm sharing ways that I healed and how these things have been effective to me in my life because there is no book or there is no rule book on how to do this and how to heal and etc. I started off with prayer to God to help me, then therapy, And then after I started doing therapy, it took a minute, but then I started to do the work to look within, you know. So I have an outline here because I want to talk about some things here. So, in my personal experience, for those who are new, welcome to the channel. In some prior videos, I talk about 2020 a lot because that's when the hell started in 2020, the loss, losing about 10 people, a good friend that I worked with, volunteer, did volunteer work at church. Um, she's only a few years older than me, and she passed away unexpectedly. My mother died, my dog, had a neighbor that passed away, friend, some family members, and it just went on and on like a domino effect. And it changed my life forever because it made me realize that we are all on borrowed time here. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us, and that we can't take life for granted, you know. And after my dog died, my mother died after my dog died, I was just really in a bad place for a while. And then I started to do the work, therapy weekly. Although I was seeing a therapist, I did not start to really get serious and persevere with the healing, getting on this bandwagon to heal. I didn't start to really persevere and bite and crawl through it until the ending of a situation. I was in a dating situation for 7 months, and I'm going to refer, like I said, I don't refer to specifics here, so I use different metaphors to describe things. So this Casanova that I was dating um, was someone who liked to play mind games and who liked to play with women, just deceptions, lies, not being who they truly are. And it just went on and on and on. I'm going to describe it this way, guys, because this situation reminds me of this song. I don't know. I'm going to turn it up so you guys can hear this. A little bit of Erica by my side, a little bit of Rita's all I need, a little bit of Tina's what I see, a little bit of Sandra in the sun, a little bit of Mary all night long, a little bit of Jessica, here I am, a little bit of you mixed in your game. This is what I was dealing with. I don't know. Hopefully you guys heard that. But this is what I was dealing with. Somebody who just was, love a whole bunch of women. And I can respect if someone told me that they were not ready for a relationship, but they wanted to have, they were honest and they wanted A, B, C, and D. I would respect that because they gave me a choice, which is not something I want and not something that I would ever agree to because it's not who I am. However, I can respect that because the person is being honest. A long time ago, because I'm from New York, and I can remember someone who I wanted to date so bad, and and finally I got a date with this person, and I didn't know that this person had just gotten out of a relationship, and I respect the honesty because I was told, listen, I just got out of a relationship, and I can't offer you anything but a one night stand because I'm not ready for anything. I respected the honesty because the ball is in my court. I had a choice. And I said no because I don't do one night stands. I'm not judging anybody, but it's not for me. I don't do that stuff. So I just, said thank you for being honest because not too many people are honest about what they want when it comes to this. They'll tell you whatever they want so they can reel you in like a fish, like a worm on a hook to reel in a fish. And people tell you whatever you want to hear, you know. And the situation I was in reminded me of that. because the entire 7 months that we were dating, this Casanova would come to I mean, we would go out to eat, would be texting, you know, would come to my house, texting. I'm over there at their house, texting, just texting with other people and telling me lies. You lie after lie after lie, texting while at dinner, texting while at my house, texting while at their house. Everything was a lie, a mind game, you know, fake love, love bombing, lies, everything. And I was like, listen, if you're dealing with other women, I'm not going to deal with you. I'm not going to put up with that. And see, because I don't get loud and crazy and, you know, a lot of profanities and wild and stuff, because listen, the film, you know, my mother taught me that was so unladylike. I don't do that. Even though I could feel that inside, I don't really do that. I'm just going to speak to that person very firmly while I look at you, you know, look at that individual and say, listen, I'm not putting up with this. You're not going to date me and somebody else at the same time. You're not going to be with me and other people. If that's what you need to do, then I am not for you, because I'm not putting up with that. And I guess it was you know, people don't believe me or whatever the case. So it continued. And you know, I kept saying, listen, and the reason why I do that, I have a whole lot of conversations with people, not only in a romantic setting, but just whether it's family, friends, business, or whatever, because I need and the reason why I do that, you know, and I may do it a few times, because I need people to understand that when I walk away from something, or if they walk away and then change their mind, I'm not available anymore. I shut down, and when I close that door, or they close it, or whatever the case, it's padlocked forever. That's why I try so hard. That's why I go above and beyond and give all of what I can to whatever the situation is. Because once I walk away from it, it's a wrap. I'm not coming back. I don't care what you're promising. I don't care what you're doing. I am not coming back. And before I really learn how to really self-love on myself, I was always in that type of energy, because I'm not sharing that. I'm not doing this. I'm not going through those changes, you know. So I had these conversations, you know, and I would say maybe 4 times. And I said, listen, you really need to hear what I'm saying, because I'm not going to put up with it, you know. And one day, while this person was at my house, you know, the Texan, and then, you know, to start an argument when there was no argument, nothing was happening, so that you can get up and leave. How many of you guys been in that situation? You know, somebody you're dating or in a relationship, whatever, and nothing is happening. You're not having an argument or anything like that. However, they start one because they want to get away so that they can get with the other person or whatever. Me, I'm going to let you go, you know. And this particular person was used to women just running after them. You know, I don't run after anybody. You know, if someone doesn't want to be with me, I'm going to let you go. So when this person got up to leave, I held the door, let you go, and then had the audacity to tell me I got home safely, whatever. And then 3 days later, not even a conversation, I get an email that it's finished, it's over. And before it was over for me, I had 2 weeks of everything that I needed to say. I just said it because I don't like games, I don't like BS, all of this. And I said, you know, this, you know, you shouldn't play these type of games, blah 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 blah, etc. And then I was done. So this person thought I was going to, you know, chase and come back, chasing and come back to what? I was giving my true self to this person. I was being my authentic self. I was giving, you know, while I was being breadcrumb. What was there to come back to? In a relationship is supposed to enhance our lives, not bring hell to it. Of course, problems come up and things happen, but this is not a problem. This is just somebody who likes to date a whole bunch of different women. If that's what you like to do, be honest about that from the beginning and put the choice in the hands of the person that you're interested in. Some people are okay with that. I'm not one of them. And to try to put me in a box and mold me the way you want, it's not happening. So what happened? I'm not gonna fall and crawl behind anyone. I'm not doing any of that, and I wasn't going to allow anyone to put me on a shelf. And when they ready to come back to play, take me off the shelf and dust me off to play with me. No, you're not doing that to me. I'm not doing any of that. You know. So while the person was away and this was over, I did a background check and found out more than what I bargained for in the background check. And I'm like, this person is no damn good. You know, what I saw in that background check, and I get updates after update after update, even though I'm not on there anymore for that. I found out what I needed to find out and I'm done with it. But what really shocked me is that 5 or 6 months later, I get a text from this person that they want to kind of reconcile. There is no reconcile. With me, when something is done and over and people are trying to shake up the situation, I'm unbothered. And the reason why I'm unbothered is because I don't give a damn anymore. I really don't. And I move on. What I had to do, I was more angry than hurt, irritated, because I felt like, I'm a busy person and time to me is important, just like going to work and, making a living, and wasting my time with this BS, knowing that you got 5 other women over here that you're texting and playing with as well. And these other women don't know. They think they're the only one when you've got all these women, and you think this is a game, like that song I just played. This is not funny. This is not a game. And I really despise this kind of stuff. So when I got the call, not even a conversation, a text or whatever, no, an email about what's going on in this person's life, why do I care? And then I said what I had to say. You know what you need to do? Instead of getting upset like I was before, I started to prophesy to this person. You need to go to each person that you played a game with and toyed with, and you need to not just apologize, you need to come clean about everything. Otherwise, karma is going to be kicking your ass big time, because people don't deserve this, and it was just too much. I'm not going to let anybody treat me, like a rag doll or less than zero, you know, because I don't deserve that. I always knew I deserved better. But that situation, with what I found out and what was truly going on, made me started to work on myself, because I start to ask myself, why am I attracting narcissists, individuals, and people who like to play mind games, love bombing, fake love, and want to take advantage of you, and and I haven't done anything to these people. And so I had to look at myself, people, and it was hard. I had to do the work to go within to find out why I was attracting these type of individuals in my life. I don't deserve this. But this one, you know, I started to I don't want anything to do with it. And when I kept getting these calls, I don't want to be bothered, And then the last one I got, I just didn't answer at all. Just ignored it, deleted it, because when I give my all, that's it. I don't have once it's done and over, I don't have nothing left to give, because I gave it all to the situation. So coming back 5 months later, a year, 2 years, 5 years, doesn't matter. I have nothing left to give to the situation, because while I was in it, I gave my all, no matter what it is. And, even with family members, I had a sibling that I hadn't spoken to in about, I don't know, 15 years or so, contacted me, wanted to reconcile, blah, blah, etc. Right. And I let the sibling talk. And I said, yeah, we can do that after you come clean. about everything that you had a part in this betrayal situation that took place. And I hate when people play dumb and act stupid like they don't know what I'm talking about. You know damn well what I'm talking about. And I need to know details. I need to know the part that you played in this, why it was done, etc. When you're able to do all of that, then we can talk about maybe a reconciliation or whatever. But if you can't do that, you need to lose my number, because there will be no reconciliation. And for me to even say all of this um, was huge, because for me, I'm unbothered when I close the door and padlock. It doesn't matter who it is. And people take that for granted. They take my kindness for weakness. There's nothing weak about me. I'm kind and generous and let my light shine because I am a child of God. You know, I don't know. The cameras seem to be messing up, but I'm kind, I'm generous, and I let my light shine because I'm a child of God. You know, and that's who I am. I don't like toxicity. I don't like a lot of drama and craziness, and I try to keep that out of my life. But when people start to play games with me, think I'm dumber than a rock, and they want to use and abuse, I'm out the door. I'm gone. I'm finished. And they think, oh, she's just angry for a couple of weeks. No, when I say I'm done forever. That's why I talk a lot and I try to work things out. And I try, when I'm in a situation, because once I walk away, it's a wrap. It's done. It's over. Because then I started to work on myself, really work on myself, because I'm busy being subservient and giving to other people, but who's giving to me? And I had to learn to look within my inner child to see why I was doing this over and over and over again. And I had to learn to self love on me and that I was worth it. I was never paying attention to me and my health and what was going on with me and everything, because I was busy giving to other people, while they're out playing games and, oh, she's stupid and she's this and that. But one of the things with me is people lying, cheating, and, betrayals. I'm done, and there's no coming back to that. And sometimes people think because of the way I speak or whatever the case is that they can do this to me. They may do this, but they won't get a second, third, and fourth chance because it's a wrap. I'm done. And then I get to the point where I'm unbothered. I don't care what they say, because what happened in this situation, this last situation, is that since the person couldn't get me to reconcile with them, lies was spread. Like I do one night stands, I'm a hoe, all this stuff I heard. And I just, people would get upset. I would just laugh at it because there's no truth to that. Anybody knows me, no, I don't do those things. This is somebody who couldn't get their way and who couldn't get me to reconcile. So now they're bitter and they're starting rumors and lies and all this other stuff that's untrue. And I said, people who know the truth, you will know the truth because it will be exposed for what it really is, you know? And if I was really doing any of these things that was being said, it will show and reflect in my own life, which it doesn't, because I don't do those things. It's not even me. Even when I was younger, I never did one night stands or any of that stuff. I dated a lot, sure, but I also learned to take my time with everything. I had to change my entire mindset, learn that I was worth it to love on me. And it was hard. And when people say, oh, being alone, I love being alone at times. I'm not depressed. I'm not upset about it, because then what my alone time, I meditate, I talk to God. God helped to build me up. Prayer, I stay in prayer. I love music. I do things that matter to me. Whereas before, I was doing things to please other people and forgot about myself. What was important to me? What do I like? You know, I forgot about all that stuff because I had submerged myself into the other person's life and forgot about the things that I like. I have a life too, you know, and I had to learn this through therapy, do the homework, the pros and the con list of a situation. What am I getting from it? Am I getting anything? Is the person given an equal give and take? If not, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? And when I start to look at that list and start to really meditate on me and what I was given, what the other person was given, which was breadcrumbs, almost zero to nothing, nothing to zero, whatever. And I had to really get serious about my healing. And because of that situation, and because of the background check and all this stuff, I found out lie after lie after lie, and just, doing the worst and the most. I was thanking God that I dodged the bullet, that I just let that situation go, and I knew I had grown a little bit because I would still be trying to say, well, can we work this out? Can we do this and that? But I was really like angry because I hadn't done anything. If there had been an argument or a situation where we argued about something and a person got up and left, that would be more understanding. I can understand that. None of that happened, but I knew it was because they want to get out of here and go, see somebody else. And then the audacity to contact me later, like 5, 6 months later, to think that I'm ready to jump on a bandwagon to deal with your BS again. Hell no. I love me, and I learned to really love myself and to build me up. And once you start to do this, make that pro and con list, and you see all the good points in a pros and all the negatives in a con. If for me, when a con category outweighed the pros, I knew I had to do something, with any situation in my life. And it wasn't easy, but as I start to do the work, the pain, being on my knees, crying, learning that I had next to no one in my life when I was going through these losses. Only the people who I lost were there for me. The other people were just there. And when I started to lose people, and especially my dog, and hurt and go through, I started to learn who had my back and who didn't have my back. And that was also a learning experience. Everything in life, people, is a learning experience. What I do different now is that when I date or I meet someone, yeah, we're going to talk, have conversations, but we're going to have fun. And when I talk about fun, like carnivals, let's go bowling, maybe even go to an arcade and play some games. I like games. Just do fun stuff, a boat ride, something fun, and then get to know each other really to see if we're compatible instead of rushing into something without even knowing the person. Because if I continue on that path, then I'm going to spin on the wheel, and it's good to take your time. So now I'm self disciplined. I learn to take my time instead of making impulsive decisions that could tear down my life. And those were the lessons that I've learned so far. Life is full of lessons, and like I always say, if we don't learn them, we're going to repeat them, and it's going to add more pain to the situation. So I try now to learn these lessons sooner than later, you know. And I also have people around me who want to see me in pain, to see me broken down, busted, and disgusted. It seemed like they were getting some kind of sick, twisted joy from it. And I learned this by through things that they were saying and wasn't really there for me. And I had to get these folks from around me, get them out of my life, uproot these people out of my life and send them on their way and, be done with that. And it wasn't easy. It was hard as hell to do those things. But as I start to love on myself and see things from a different mindset and perspective, I had to learn I was worth it. Doesn't matter what other people felt. And what I talked about in the other video, take back your power. I had to take back my power. I was literally giving my power to other people, and people who thought that they had control over me. They were playing God in my life. Nobody get to play God in somebody's life. They're not God. And so I started to learn how to cultivate my relationship with God and build it up and make it strong and transmute that energy and give it to God and tell him these burdens are too much. I know you can deal with this, God, and send that to him. And so now, God is dealing with this while I redirect my focus back to me so that I can stay in peace and not pieces because of other people's BS. But people can't do to you what they want unless you allow it. It's just like I said in one of my prior videos, it's like watching a vampire movie. They can't come into your home unless you invite them. So people can't come and do some toxic shit to you unless you open the door and let them in, or reconcile with them, give them another chance to do something worse. And I'm not giving nobody another chance to do any of that, because what they did the first time around showed me who they truly were, because the mask is off. Once the mask is off and you see who's behind that mask, if it walks like a demon, it's talking and looking and acting like a demon, it must be a demon. I'm not going to call it anything else, and I'm not, attaching my life to that. And it doesn't matter how they feel some kind of way or whatever. It doesn't matter, because they had the chance when I was in their life. And I will never, ever dim my light so that somebody else can shine, because they don't like my light shining. That's too bad. I can't, what if people would put, if these toxic people would put their energy into healing themselves from traumatic experiences and childhood things that they had happen to them, and if they put all that energy into that, they would be a force to be reckoned with, instead of all this other toxic stuff, because nothing good is going to come from it. Because like I said, I transmute and give to God, and he does the rest, as I do my part. I'm not out there behind the scenes setting people up for failure, calling cops on people, making false reports. Things like that is going to get people locked up for that, because like I said, all those things are being transmuted to God, given to him, and he sees what I'm doing. He knows I'm not doing any of these things that these people are doing. They're doing this out of bitterness and anger because they can't get back into my life. And so because of those things, and because of all these losses and not having my mother and dog, I really, really struggled to do the work, but I did the work because I said to God, if you are for me, then who can be against me? As long as I have you and you got my back, I know I can do this. It's hard. It's not easy. So I'm encouraging people out there today to know that if I can do it, and I didn't have the support system around me, I just was in prayer a lot with God. My dog was gone. I spent a lot of time alone. It was hard at first, but I did what I had to do. And I continued to persevere through it. And what I'm proud of today is that even things I don't feel like doing, that I have to do, business I have to take care of. In the past, I would say, let that stuff slide for now. I'm tired or whatever, because I didn't want to be bothered with it. But now then I would think about it. I don't think I just get up and do it. It has to be done. I don't want the problem of, if I let this linger too long, it's going to get worse. So let me just take care of it now, get it off my plate so I can rest. Because now I can't rest if I don't take care of it. And I know I have grown, even though there's still more work to do. So I'm encouraging you guys, and the first step can be therapy. See a therapist, a grief therapist, because they can help you get started. I didn't have a manual on how to, heal. I just, as I went along and started the process with therapy, I started to come up with some creative ways, because as I got to know myself, what helped me to and as you get to know do things that make you feel better. If you like music, do that. If you have a pet, spend time with your pet. Go outside, do this, go in nature, join do volunteer work at an animal shelter or whatever your favorite charity is. All those things will keep you mentally stimulated and busy. And also take care of your physical and mental health. Make sure you're getting enough rest. Make sure you are eating better, because that's what I'm doing. One day at a time, people, one step at a time. The only thing I say here, never give up on yourself. Always invest in you and make yourself a priority. And the last thing I want to say about for me in a relationship situation, if I'm not a priority and I'm on a back burner for someone, then I don't need to be a part of it. Because a relationship to me is getting to know someone, taking the time, investing in getting to know that person. And if a person don't have time to do that, then it doesn't matter. It's no reason to continue you know. But invest in yourself, your mental and physical health. As you learn to love yourself, you will do better, and you start to feel better. As you feel better, you do better. The last thing I want to say, because I know this video is getting really long, is that as you do the work, in the beginning it's really hard, but as you persevere and bite through all of it, it starts to get easier because you naturally start to do the work. Just like you get up and go to work every day, whether you want to or not, you just get up and do it, and it's going to take a minute to get to that point, but investing in yourself, it should be a priority. It's better to be at peace than in pieces. Removing toxicity was a must for me as well, because I could not be at peace until the toxicity was gone as well. Thank you all for being here today. Please share this video with other people who are depressed and sad, and they need to be uplifted. We are all here to uplift one another because life is a learning experience and we need each other to get through it. Learning to turn pain into power, power into a purpose to help others, to make it better, and to keep it moving, to pay it forward. And never give up on yourself. Thank you again, and everyone have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday. Bye for now.